Welcome to Short Times, where we bring you the best movies in bite-size form. In today's feature, we have a heart-wrenching love story set against the tumultuous backdrop of the India-Pakistan conflict. In 1964, a Pakistani extremist named Ansari was determined to destroy the close relationship between Kashmiri Muslims and Hindus. In order to achieve his goal, he brainwashes impressionable teenagers in Pakistan and sends them to Kashmir to secretly work towards his cause. He fervently believes that the Indian Army is the driving force behind the unity between the two groups. In 1985, Afreen, a fierce Pakistani rabble-rouser based in London, harbored a deep hatred for anything related to India. She chooses to take revenge by setting fire to the car of an esteemed Indian philanthropist, Anand Mehta, in retaliation for him burning Pakistan's flag. The management board of Afreen's university demands that she apologize to Mehta, but she stubbornly refuses. In response, Mehta offers her two options: either pay him 1 million INR as compensation or go to prison. As a steadfast and unapologetic patriot, Afreen decides to pay the compensation and travels to Pakistan to ask her grandfather, a Pakistani army brigadier named Tariq, for the money. However, upon arriving in Pakistan, she is saddened to learn that Tariq has passed away. In his will, he requests that Afreen deliver a letter that he was unable to deliver himself, written in 1965 by Indian Army Lieutenant Ram, to his beloved Sita Mahalakshmi in India. If Afreen successfully delivers the letter, she will inherit Tariq's wealth. Initially hesitant, Afreen ultimately agrees to deliver the letter in order to receive her inheritance. Afreen sets off for Hyderabad to find Sita, accompanied by Balaji, a senior at her university in London. Afreen arrives at the given address only to discover that it is a women's college. She inquires with Subramaniam, a man who has worked at the college for over 2 decades, about Sita, but he informs her that nobody by that name has ever been there. Frustrated and at a loss for where to turn, Afreen decides to try and find Ram, Sita's husband, instead. She learns about the address of Lieutenant Vikas Varma, a member of Ram's regiment, in Kashmir. When Afreen meets with Vikas, she also encounters Durjoy Sharma and Vishnu Sharma, who tell her about Rama's heroic story. It is 1964. And Ansari, a nefarious individual, is sending teenagers to Kashmir. Upon learning of their presence, Major Selvan orders the Indian Army to capture and kill the Pakistani teenagers, believing they pose a threat to the safety of the Indians in Kashmir. However, the plan backfires when the Kashmiri Muslims in the area, who view the teenagers as their own, attack the soldiers responsible for the killings. Ansari, who anticipated this outcome, infiltrates Kashmir and manipulates the Kashmiri Muslims into setting fire to the homes of the Kashmiri Hindus in Agartha. Despite being aware that the Muslims are under Ansari's influence, Ram bravely tries to stop them and succeeds in capturing the informant, revealing the truth to the Muslims. Upon learning the truth, the Muslims apologize and work with the Indian Army to put out the fires. This incident becomes a widely publicized news event, and Ram and his fellow regiment mates are hailed as national heroes. Vijayalakshmi, an investigative journalist, arrives to interview the heroes and learns that Ram is an orphan. The following day, she shares his story on the radio and asks people all over India to send their love to him. As a result, Ram receives a plethora of letters from people all across the country who consider him their own brother or son. Overjoyed at the prospect of having such a large and loving family, Ram spends his time writing replies to all of the letters. One of these letters is from Sita Mahalakshmi, who addresses him as her husband. Surprised by this development, Ram continues to receive letters from Sita with no return address. One day, he and Vikas board the same train as Sita, having deduced her location from the specific details she included in her letters. He searches the entire train and eventually finds her. Recognizing him by the riddle he repeats, Ram gives her a friend's landline number before departing the train. When Ram arrives at his friend Durjoy's house, however, he discovers that the phone has been dead for a week. Sita arrives at Durjoy's house in search of Ram, and the two are finally reunited. In a discreet moment, Ram takes a picture of Sita. Sita departs once more without giving Ram her address. Determined to find her, Ram goes to a magic show and meets a friend of Sita's, who tells him that Sita has written many letters to him, but only sent a few of them. He learns that Sita is a dance teacher living in Princess Noor Jahan's palace in Hyderabad, teaching Kathak. With the assistance of Subramaniam, Ram enters the palace and finally reunites with Sita. He discovers that he had saved her from the riots in Agartha, and that this was their first encounter, although he was unable to see her face at the time. It is later revealed that Sita is actually Princess Noor Jahan, whose marriage alliance has been arranged with the Prince of Oman in order to save her family's factories and businesses that were seized in Oman. Sita goes to say goodbye to Ram, but ends up spending the next 4 days with him, during which they meet his family, the people who wrote him the letters. Sita and Ram are spotted by a journalist who takes their picture together. Later, Ram drops Sita off at the palace and returns to Kashmir. The pictures are published in the newspaper, revealing the princess's love for a common man. Sita confides in her brother that the news is true and cancels her alliance. She leaves for Kashmir to be with Ram. They spend some time together, and Noor meets Ram's fellow regimental mates as Sita. They dine with Vishnu Sharma and his family, but are attacked by a young man seeking revenge for earlier events. They capture him and learn the precise location of Ansari. Ram promises the young man that he will rescue his younger sister, Wahida, from Ansari. The army plans a secret mission to take out Ansari and warns the soldiers that if they are caught, they will be disowned by the army and labeled as traitors. Ram, Vishnu Sharma, and their team cross the Indian border and successfully eliminate Ansari. However, Brigadier Tariq becomes alarmed by the fires that were ignited during the crossfire and heads to the location. Just as Ram and his team are about to leave, Ram hears a young girl crying and realizes it is Wahida. He goes to save her, but both Ram and Vishnu are captured by the Pakistani army, while the other soldiers escape. Ram hands Wahida over to Brigadier Tariq. The two men are brutally tortured in an effort to extract the coordinates of the Indian Army base in Kashmir, but Brigadier Tariq takes pity on Ram and Vishnu and tends to their injuries. Through the use of brute force, the Pakistani soldiers are able to coerce Vishnu into revealing the coordinates of the Indian Army bases. In exchange for his freedom and the safety of his family, Vishnu is released, but Ram is hanged in order to demoralize the Indian Army. The Indian Army bases in Kashmir are destroyed, and Ram is branded a traitor. Before his execution, Ram writes a letter to Sita and asks Brigadier Tariq to deliver it to her. In the final moments of the story, it becomes clear that Afreen has undergone a significant transformation in her perspective and values. She is deeply moved when she discovers that the brigadier who left her his wealth was actually Tariq, and that the child whose life was saved by Ram during the fire was none other than herself. Afreen delivers the letter from Ram to Sita with a heavy heart, along with the newspaper clipping that reveals the truth about Sita's love for a common man. Both Afreen and Balaji are struck by the fact that Ram knew about Sita's true identity as a Muslim and did not care, showing his deep love and understanding for her. As a result of the letter and Afreen's testimony, an inquiry is launched into Vishnu Sharma and his regiment. The inquiry is prompted by the revelation of Ram's innocence, which had been cast into doubt due to the actions of Vishnu and the Pakistani army. Overcome with disgrace and possibly guilt, Vishnu takes his own life with his service revolver. Despite these challenges, Sita is able to prove Ram's innocence and restore his name and honor in the Indian Army. This is a triumphant and poignant moment in the story, as it demonstrates the enduring power of love and loyalty to overcome even the most difficult obstacles. The story as a whole is a powerful and emotional tale that touches upon themes of love, patriotism, and redemption, and highlights the transformative power of personal growth and understanding. In the end, Ram and Sita's love proved to be stronger than any obstacle or enemy they faced. Despite the dangers and challenges of the India-Pakistan conflict and the tensions in Kashmir, they were able to find their way back to each other and live happily ever after. Thanks for watching Sita Ramam on Short Times. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great movies in bite-size form.